husband's a jerk chicken pot pie. This comes to us on page 65 of Sugar Butter Flour, the official Waitress pie book, under the section Savory Pies. Chicken pot pie is one of the ultimate Southern comfort foods, a staple in my home. But the recipe name is also a very clever pun, because this pot pie uses jerk chicken and vegetables that would normally accompany jerk chicken, like sweet potato. Now, jerk cuisine is something that I personally have never tried, so I am very interested in seeing if Jenna was onto something with this American-Jamaican fusion. Instead of making a normal pie pastry, we're going to be making a custom top crust for this pot pie, which starts with a cup of flour, a teaspoon of sugar, and a half a teaspoon each of salt, and baking powder. Whisk it up. We're going to work into the dry ingredients 4 tablespoons of butter that has been chilled and cut into cubes, as well as 2 tablespoons of vegetable shortening that has gone through the same process. You're going to work both of these in until this mixture is crumbly. I'm using 2 butter knives to work everything in, but you could also use a pastry blender or a food processor if you have one. Once the dry ingredients have been worked, we are going to beat into a bowl 2 teaspoons of distilled white vinegar, and 1.5 tablespoons of ice water. Once the wet ingredients have been fully beaten, you're going to pour them into the dry, and use your fork to stir it up. Make sure all of those dry ingredients get pulled in. Now, we don't want all of the dry ingredients to be fully incorporated. We still want it a bit dry. That's where the flakiness of the crust comes from. Turn it out on plastic wrap, pack it in tight, and shape it into a disc about 3/4 of an inch thick. Let this chill in the fridge for at least a half hour. And now we are going to prep the meat, which is 1 pound of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. And in Jenna's words, we are going to pound them until they're unrecognizable. Just a carbon copy of an old routine. And now we're going to toss into the chicken 1 teaspoon of jerk seasoning paste. Mix! Now we're going to heat up a tablespoon of vegetable oil in a large pot over medium-high heat. Fire! Add the vegetables! Plus 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and mix it up. In the last minute, you're going to stir in another teaspoon of that jerk seasoning mix. Into a bowl! Oh, it's spicy, alright. Heat up 1.5 teaspoons of oil in the same pan over the same heat. Fire! Arrange the chicken in the pot. Cook them on each side for 3 minutes. And then, in the words of old Joe, we're going to transfer the chicken on the side on its own plate. Heat up 2 tablespoons of butter, but only on medium-low heat this time. Fire. And now we're going to make a roux by whisking in 2 tablespoons of flour. Whisk it all together for about 2 minutes. Now whisk in a cup of chicken stock. This time cooking it for 4 minutes. Make sure to really scrape up all of that fond that developed at the bottom of the pot. That's where the flavor is. Once this is thickened, we are going to add 2 tablespoons of heavy cream and 1 last teaspoon of jerk seasoning. Carve the chicken into bite-sized pieces. Return the pot to medium-low heat. Put the chicken into the pot along with the juices that accumulated on the plate and the vegetables, as well as a 1/2 cup of thawed frozen peas and 3/4 of a cup of cooked rice. Stir it all together until heated through. Season the mixture with salt and pepper to taste, and add in 2 tablespoons of parsley. Now, this recipe recommends that you use freshly chopped, but nobody's stopping you from using pre-chopped. Pour into a greased 9.5-inch pie pan. Evenly spread the mixture. Roll out the top crust dough. Drape over the pie shell. Crimp the edges. Use the leftover dough to create a decorative broken heart shape. For the egg wash, we're gonna whisk in 1 egg and 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. Brush the egg wash to adhere the broken heart, and then brush over the top of the dough. And now we vent the dough. Season with kosher salt and freshly ground pepper. 400 degrees for 45 minutes. After baking, you're going to let it rest for 15 minutes. And there you have it. My husband's a jerk chicken pot pie. Serving it in a bowl this time, as customary of pot pie. The spice definitely creeps up on you. It is a bit of a slow burn, but it is still a surprise, though, to anyone who isn't expecting it. But I guess that is another takeaway that you can get from Sugar Butter Flour, the official Waitress pie book. If you want to make this Jamaican twist on an all-American classic, I'm going to leave a link in the description to the Amazon page for this book so you can get it for yourself. Thank you so much for watching Waitress Wednesday today, and I will see you in the next one.